Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time. It's been almost a year since I started my YouTube channel, which um, was before Oliver here. Um, which, if you have me as a teacher now, you've seen this dog just try to insert himself into every single lesson that I've ever had to ever tried to teach from home on the remote days. And if you are former students who still keep up with the channel, that's Oliver. He's lying down now. So my video today is a little mini mechanic tutorial for you budding home mechanics. I would assume that a lot of my viewers are either driving or starting to drive. Maybe you got your first car. Maybe you're thinking about getting your first cars. So I feel like it's important for people to know at least a little bit about mechanics and how their own cars work. I'm not saying that everyone needs to go out and become an ASCE certified mechanic, but you should if you want a great job. So I have a fuel problem with my 2008 Subaru Forester, which it doesn't like to start in the mornings. At first I thought it was just a cold weather thing, but it's continued into, the spring of 2021. And what I think is the issue is I have a bad fuel filter. Now, most cars, you have to replace the fuel filter every 60,000 miles or whatever. But Subaru, in all of their infinite wisdom, decided to put these lifetime filters inside the gas tank. So I am going to pull the assembly apart, see if it really is the fuel filter, check everything out. It might be a bad fuel pump sock filter. There's a little filter. I'll show you what I'm talking about when I get it apart. But before I get into any of the mechanics, I am not a professional mechanic. I mean, I'm an English teacher, for Pete's sake. I'm not a shop teacher. I do have a lot of experience, though, working on cars, just from, how I spent my teenage years. And then just like learning stuff as I went, with the different cars I've had. I, before doing this job, looked up a lot of different diagrams on YouTube and on some Subaru forum websites to figure out exactly what I needed to take apart. So I did my research first. So if you're ever going to do something on your car, do research first. Watch all the videos that you can watch to learn as much as you can before you go into your car trying to pull stuff apart. Don't do anything on your car without taking all the appropriate safety precautions. I'm not lifting my car. But I am doing work on a fuel system, which is kind of scary because it's, filled with gasoline. So make sure you disconnect your negative battery terminal. And I'll show you how to do that. No, I won't. I'm just going to do it. There's a positive and a negative. Unplug the negative, the little minus sign. Unplug that, and then your car will be dead. And you will, decrease the risk of exploding yourself. So let's get into fixing this thing. Good morning, folks. So today we're going to be changing out the fuel filter on my 2008 Subaru Forester, which is kind of a pain in the butt to do. Most cars, you see these two brackets right here? That's where the fuel filter should be if they were smart and did it an easy way, because these are your fuel lines right here. And normally there'd be a little filter right here and that goes right in there, and you can just take those off and pull this guy out, put a new one in, and call it a day. But Subaru decided to put it inside the gas tank. So I have to go back there and pull it out. The first thing I did is disconnect my negative battery terminal. Anytime you're working with fuel, you don't really want electricity and, sparks going around, because it's usually a good idea not to blow yourself up when you're working on your car. So going back to the trunk, which I've had to totally take apart my whole car to get to this guy right here. So I pulled this thing off. This is the fuel pump assembly. There's two fuel lines that you have to take off. I'm going to do that really quickly by pulling this little piece right here with a set of needle nose pliers so I can remove that hose and use this little clip to take off that hose. Probably spill a bunch of gas everywhere. There's kind of two ways that you can do this. You can take the fuel pump relay out and then try to start the car. That relieves the pressure from the fuel system so you don't spray gas everywhere. Most cars, there's a little fuse up in the engine bay. Not this car. They hid the relay underneath the glove compartment and taken apart my entire car to get to that. So I let the car sit overnight. So hopefully the gas isn't all over the place. I'll remove these fuel lines, take off this little clip, which this is pretty easy. You just push this down, pull that out. I'm going to use 2 hands for that. And then it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts. These I sprayed down with some PB Blaster, which this is the greatest chemical compound known to mankind. PB penetrating catalyst, it's the best. And then I'll try to get this thing out without breaking anything and take a look at the fuel filter. All right, so I've gotten all of my bolts undone. I got my fuel lines removed. That took just a little bit of, brute force and ignorance to just get this off. I put a little bit of tape over the fuel hoses. There's just a little bit of gas that will trickle out here. It's the 2 hoses. This little clamp's undone. This whole thing should be loose. There's this funky little bracket piece here that I have to get out of the way. And then I have to wiggle this whole unit out. So after quite a lot of finagling, I was able to get the fuel pump assembly out of there. You can see that, my gas tank is about half full, which there's a little sock that sits in this little hose here. The gas tank actually looks pretty clean. So the reason why I took this whole thing out, which that's the entire fuel pump assembly. You have the fuel pump itself and then the filter. It says that you don't ever have to replace these. It seems like a straight up lie. Because my car is having a lot of difficulty starting and it's not running great. And, you kind of have to do one thing at a time to figure out what's the cause of that. So I'm going to try and clean up and hopefully replace this little sock, which if this is all gummed up, that's going to prevent fuel from getting pumped. The filter, they sell replacements for it. I don't know that I want to replace it. I think I might want to try cleaning this thing up first to see if that makes a difference in starting the car, just because just touching it, it feels kind of just sandy and gross. You have to be really careful using these things. If you look at this little guy right here, this is the float that reads your fuel level. So in taking it out, if you bend this little super fragile rod, your fuel gauge is just going to be wrong. And you don't really want that. But it's pretty interesting how this works. So it goes up, little float goes up, you can't really see that. Little float goes up and it reads where the level is. And that's what sends the message to your gas gauge. So I'm going to try and clean this up as best I can, and then I'm spilling gas everywhere. And then maybe replace this sock. If it doesn't work, I might end up replacing the fuel pump, which these are cheap. You can get them for 20-something bucks for a fuel pump. And then, next step would be the actual fuel filter itself. But I'm going to take a look at this and I'll update you and tell you how it's going. Alright, so I got this little sock off and it is just really dirty. I think that might be part of what my issue is that not enough fuel is getting through this thing, and that's why the car is running so poorly. I'm going to start here. I'm just going to mosey down to the parts store. Now that, of course the fuel pump is out of my car, so I am going to be taking the Lexus
to the old parts store. It's not too far from my house. And I'm gonna see if they have another one of these that I can just replace. So I'll put a new one back on here, see if that solves the problem. I had my little hood vent on over here. Just, maybe don't do this inside. That's probably a good idea. Just get a little bit woozy from the gasoline fumes. It's probably fine. Probably not. So I will see if I can track down another one of these bad boys. So I don't have to put this old crappy one back in. There's not really a good way to clean this thing. It's just soaking in some gas. I tried to, run some gas through it and just get it cleaned up, but it looks like it's just got all kinds of just grossness in there. So I was able to find on my local AutoZone this Delphi fuel pump strainer BFS 0095, which allegedly fits my my Forester. So we'll hope that they actually have it in stock, and I don't know, I could walk. I might ride my bike. When was the last time you rode your bike? Ride on down to the local AutoZone, pick this bad boy up, and try and put it back in. Hopefully they'll have it ready for me at some point this afternoon. But yeah, it was $28, which, it wasn't the cheapest one they had, but it was the cheapest one they had that was in stock. So we'll see if this solves the problem. I don't know. I like to always go cheap before I go replacing all kinds of stuff that doesn't need to be replaced. But I'll update you guys when we get this thing in the car. All right, so I got the old filter here, and then this brandy new one that I was able to get from the local AutoZone. They called me and said that they didn't have it in stock and that they would have to transfer. And then they actually went back there and looked, and they did have it in stock. So a quick bike ride later, and I am ready to put this back on there, put it all back together, drop it in, and cross our fingers that the car starts. Okay, the new sock is on. So we're gonna try and finagle this whole thing right down in there so it sits back where it should. And hopefully not knock a bunch of debris into the gas tank, which would be bad. So let me do this. We'll tighten the bolts back up and see where we're at. So everything is back in and connected. All 7 bolts. Didn't I start with 8 bolts? Yeah, one of them is now, it's living down there somewhere because I was rushing and I just flung it down into the space between the gas tank and the body frame. So that's gone forever. I will certainly off camera replace this last bolt because it is your fuel system and you don't want it to be leaking anything. There is a rubber gasket around this whole thing. So I tightened my bolts in a star pattern to make sure that the gasket lined up okay. So I just did like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sure, I did 8. So let's hook the battery back up. If this video goes on any further, that means that the car did not explode. And we'll see if it starts. Let's hope. Yeah, everything's tight. Everything's all clamped back up where it should be. You always want to just I don't know. Fuel systems are a little scary to work on if you don't really know what you're doing. Kind of like me. But, I don't know. Fingers crossed. Alright, so it's probably going to take, I don't know, a few cranks for it to build pressure back up and run. Well, let's see what happens. It starts right up. A little bit of a bubble in there. I think maybe some air. Honestly, the gas gauge looks like it's right. I mean, I don't think I bent that piece for the gas gauge. It's idling. It's idling like almost perfectly.
So, I mean, nothing's leaking. It's running smooth. I think I may have just successfully solved my problem. I'll test drive it and I'll see, you know, I'll take it easy and make sure that, you know, I'm not throwing any big air bubbles into the fuel injectors, but I think I might be good. If you're wondering what tools I used for this job, it's just my, you know, my junky old ratchet set that I've had for just years. It works fine. Really, I mean, you could do most of your at-home mechanical stuff with just like a decent set of ratchet tools. I didn't even end up needing half of this stuff. The hoses are probably the hardest part to get off, just getting the fuel lines off the first time. But you just got to use a little bit of elbow grease. Honestly, most things in life, just elbow grease will solve your problems. So we just got back from our test drive, the dog and I. The car starts up fine. It runs fine, you know. It's as slow as ever, but it's at least, you know, 2% less slow. So I'll show you one more time. It fires right up. Just a couple cranks, whereas before, every morning, it would just be like crank, 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 go, 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 go. It idles a little bit rough, but I think, you know, partly that's the exhaust, partly that's just, you know, it being a Subaru and kind of a piece of junk. But thank you so much for watching. Thanks for taking the time. You know, anytime you have any issues with your car or anything really in your life, I mean, try to fix your own problems before you go spending a ton of money. Learn how to do things yourself. I think that's the biggest thing that the pandemic has taught me, is just learning as much as I can to do as much as I can by myself. That doesn't mean don't ask for help when you need help. There's lots of things that I need help with that I cannot do by myself. Like raise a daughter, have a dog, teach. But I think that we as people need to do what we can to be as self-sufficient as we possibly can. And that's kind of my whole lesson with this whole video, is like, you can teach yourself so much. We could try to teach you as teachers as much as, you know, we know, but the best kind of learning comes from the learning that you do yourself. So yeah. Keep watching video tutorials on YouTube. Keep reading books. Keep, you know, working on things with your hands. And I hope that, you know, in the end, this video finds you guys well. I know it's been a while since I've posted. I have some plans, informal plans of, you know, doing more of a regular YouTube, channel, and just do like funky little tutorials. Maybe some cooking, maybe some more car stuff. Definitely more car stuff. Right, dog? There's a squirrel outside. But yeah, I hope you guys are well. Take care.